Hey everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Heidi. I am a guide, I guess you would say, for mums moving forward to the new way. And that means coming back to our hearts and empowerment in the finest of details. And so I'm talking about these topics more and more. So please do subscribe to my channel right here. But today we're going to look at separation anxiety. This is one of the topics, one of the things that can be looking at going wrong with our children. And sometimes we look at it as a mum, I need to fix this, there's something wrong with them. Some women will sit in that confusion and overwhelm of like, I don't really know what to do. So I just carry around this child with separation anxiety and it just becomes them. So what we're going to look at today is the mother-child reflections. So energetically, this is what I'm talking about going the new way. We really need to look at the energetics of what's going on. We are all so linked in the family. It's actually undescribable, more so than anyone's ever realized. And so energetically, especially mother and child, we've got a big strong link there, is that when our child is coming towards us and being there like a magnet at us, it's really like what I explained, like a pet. If they sense that you're stressed, they're going to come and plonk themselves next to you to hold space. And that is essentially what your child is doing. They are coming and being there with you to hold space. And that is a really hard thing to get our heads around when we go, oh, what? Have I got something wrong with me? Is there stuff going on in there that they are actually holding space for me? Have I flipped this and got this all wrong that was actually my child? Now, in saying that, there's some mother child duo. We signed up for this as a pair. The child came through to say, yep, I'm going to start to show you your stresses inside, mum, your internal state, which is basically manifesting everything on the external. So it would be a good thing to look at it because your external world is going to start showing up in a much better way in all sorts of little details if you can look at your inner state and change that. So when we look at our child going, okay, they're holding space for me, typically they're saying, hey, mum, you've got some stresses there. Would you like to look at it? And so mums might go, I don't even know where to start, but typically you do. And what I will draw your attention to is firstly, the birth, maybe pregnancy, but typically from the birth onwards, those early years with your child, so much stress has gone down with us as a mother and a child. I don't know a single mum that has said, if they get honest, it was all fine. It was so joyful and it was lovely. There's always shadows that come up, no matter how light you try and be, there's always shadows. And so that's the part, firstly, I would say, look at that because typically, that comes straight away and like, okay, I'm going to hold you for this. So for example, my son was born preemie and it took years to realize energetically he had been holding space for me for the sadness that I took on in that time when I was trying to keep it all together and then just kept on going. You keep it together because it's tough being a mum and whatnot. And I never really gave myself that space to really sit with that stuff that I, gobbled down at the time, whether I liked it or not. So that's the main part, is to look at your pregnancy, but mostly the birth and onwards. It could be other things that are coming in for you to look at. For example, if you find it hard to go out into the world and socialize, and this can be quite hidden for us as moms. Oh no, I get along with people. But when you actually access it to go, you know what, I kind of do drag myself there. I'm kind of happy that my child plonks himself there with me, so I have an excuse not to get up or not to have to do X, Y, Z. That is the whole idea, is that your child is there to basically say, hey, I'm going to hold this space and I'm going to make it easier for you. But by doing that, then of course you can see what we're manifesting onto our child, because then the more we talk about it and the longer we don't do our inner work, the more our child carries that problem. We're basically passing that on in an empowered view way. Let's not look at it as the shaming way, even though that will be there to release as well. So we're going to zoom out to the spiritual body now to look at this, to go, okay, they are telling me I could really look at my stresses. Then we look at the emotional body to go, how do I feel about that? We need to honor all of our bodies, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and to really sit with that, to go, yeah, okay, emotionally, yeah, I feel stressed when I go out and, see other people, especially us awakened mums who might be hanging out with less than awakened people. But also you might be hanging out with awakened people that really aren't your soul family. And we are like different races as well. So if you're not with your exact right people that energize you and make you feel so safe that you can be totally yourself, well then yes, there's probably some stress there. And then yes, your child is going to naturally, magnetize to you. And so then it plays out as my child has a problem, they can't go to school, we have to set up all sorts of scenarios for my child to be feeling okay in school, and it really becomes the, you know, the problem of the child. And so often when I work with mums, I'm like, how do you feel in dropping your child off to school? Sometimes it's just like, oh, I've had them close to me for so long, I don't like this separation. Because then it's like, oh wow, I have to look at myself. Who am I? Oh, I might have to look at my shadows, you know, all that stuff that we haven't had to because they've been a distraction since the birth as well. So really checking into that. And that's the part where we start to go, okay, I really need to do my inner work. And in saying that, I have 4 courses coming up. I'm calling them my sanctuary activation courses. And they are designed to basically activate you, not with piles of work, really simple, straight to the point, golden key stuff. The third one is the Empowered Mothers course, and that is the one where we do inner work, my energetic inner work process thoroughly, so you can see everything that comes up for you is what I call a life theme, like a life theme. Okay, I'm working for this life theme of having separation anxiety with my child. Spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, and physical body. The energetic body, you know, weaves through each of those. So then we clear the whole thing, and you can literally pull the weed out and literally move to a new timeline where that doesn't exist. Of course, the longer it's played out, especially if your child's at school and they've had lots of trouble separating and all of that, then yes, it has manifested onto them. But it's not to say then once you're doing your inner work, you can hold a much better space for your child, because you're actually like, you know what, I feel okay now, and I'm totally trusting this is okay with the school. They will sense that, and that's how things start to unravel. So that's the mother-child work. That again, first course, Nurture Your Child's Light. It's starting very soon. So get onto my website, HeidiHosking.com. Check that out, because we also need to be nurturing their light instead of focusing on the shadows of our child, but also ourselves. Then the second course is the heart-to-heart parenting course, where we really do look at what shadows are coming at my child, so I can work through that to get them back to their heart and me back to my heart. So we're not having the tough times in all sorts of ways, worrying, stressing, yelling, all of that stuff, and then what they're manifesting as well. So if that calls to you, then hop on board. But yeah, otherwise, please do start to consider the only way forward, truly and deeply and holistically, is to start to check in with yourself and start to get self-responsible. It is a big thing, but we're not here to stuff around and try to put our stuff out onto others, because I know there's a lot of mums that don't want their stuff from family lines being passed on to the next generation. They really are saying, I want this to end. And that is the motivation inside us to really start to go, okay, I'm going to end this for my child, but actually I'm the one that's going to benefit so much. And actually I'm here on my journey, so I need to do this for me. And if you use your child as a motivation, then that's great. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments, but otherwise subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.